Welcome to Retro Scale Modelling. This is part 18 of Italeri Operation Silver Bayonet. Scale is 1/72. So as in with the previous parts, I'm carrying on building up the diorama. I'm at the stage where I'm adding all the plant life and structures to the build. There's still a little bit more to do, but I'm almost at the end now. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. So I've added all the plant life that I'm going to be adding. I may add a tiny bit more, but overall I think I'm finished adding all the foliage. So now is the time to add the figures. Now I may not place in all the ones that I painted. I'm just going to be placing them in random locations initially, and see how I get on. The tower isn't secured to the diorama yet. I'm not going to be securing that until right at the end, because I'm going to be moving it around, and I don't want to run the risk of breaking off the diorama. So I will go on it right at the end, but at the moment I'm just going to be put it on, take it off as I'm placing the figures. Now the figures themselves are going to be attached with some super glue. And the ones I'm placing in at the moment are the Vietnamese army, the VC, or the Viet Cong. Now, the majority of these figures are going to be in the dense foliage, so they're going to be well camouflaged inside. Now, that is because obviously when I've read stories, seen movies about that time in history, the Vietnamese were masters of camouflage and disguise. So I'm trying to recreate that with putting them all in the deck, the dense woodlands, jungle, and so on. But I'm also bearing in mind when I'm doing this, the ones that have the weapons raised and pointing, I'm going to be pointing them towards the American areas of the dioramas to simulate that they're about to attack, or they are attacking, something similar along those lines. I'm putting in a couple of American servicemen into the tower. This was actually quite tricky to do. There's not a lot of room in the tower. They do fit, obviously. It's just an awkward shape. I put a little bit of super glue on the legs to fit them in. It did move about a bit, so I've got a little bit of residue glue inside it, but I don't think you'll notice too much when everything's in place. So it's on to the next board, and it's much the same again, but this time I'm going to be adding more the American servicemen. First of all, I'm putting a couple of servicemen at the checkpoint, one on either side. And then I'm putting about 3, possibly 4 inside the first aid station. Sorry for my hand being in the way there, but I've only got the one camera angle, and it's always going to get in the way when the parts are so small. In the dense bamboo area for this board, I'm going to be putting in some Viet Cong in there. These weapons are going to be pointing towards the first aid station. I'm going to put about 3 the soldiers in here, and 1 laying flat to simulate someone's been killed. I'll then add some more American servicemen with their weapons pointed towards the wounded or dead Vietnamese soldier. So it looks like basically the American soldiers have spotted the attack and they're dealing with it accordingly. So you're trying to create a story as you're building the diorama, but that's what I'm trying anyway. So for the next board, I've placed on the helicopter and the personnel carrier. So I'm adding on the soldiers as well. So like the other one with the dense foliage, I'm putting in the Vietnamese army. And for the American army, I'm placing around the helicopter in the crouch position predominantly to look like they're protecting the helicopter as it offloads its cargo. And I'm placing one figure inside the personal car area, only the one. I found that there was only one that really fitted well enough to go into the car area. So he's just getting popped in on the first hatch. The other ones that I'm going to be placing behind the personal car area, leading up to the ramp and just going towards the helicopter. So it looks like they're disembarking the helicopter to go into the personnel carrier. Well, that's the thought around it anyway. And then it's onto the diorama with the main structure. Now the tank's sitting there, but it's not attached. This is going to be similar to the guard tower. I'm not going to be placing it on attached until everything is done. So at the moment, I'm just placing in various figures around the house and also on the dirt road as well. I'm not placing these in any set pattern either. I'm just thinking of interesting and different poses where I'd like these figures to go. So one, possibly two, will be in the houses. A couple will be on the verandas and the steps, and I shall have a line of soldiers behind the tank as they're walking up the path. So I'm just placing the one of the last figures in behind the tank. So it's around about six behind the tank and a couple just on the grass verge. I'm trying to use the ones that have got slightly different poses as I go along, so they're not all looking the same. So I've decided to weather the structures a little bit more. So what I've got here is AK weathering pencils. Now these are watercolor pencils. They're designed to add chip marks and scruffs, watermarks and things like that. And how they work is relatively simple. You wet the tip of the pencil with just normal water, and then you just mark whatever area you want. And you can go as heavy or light as you want, just rub it on over the surface. You can either do that by increasing the pressure on the pencil, but be careful when you do that because you don't want to break the pencil itself. They can be quite fragile, and or the other way to doing it is by just diluting it further with some more water. These parts come in all various different colours, but this product you can actually buy it all the whole range in one pack now. I do highly recommend these pencils. They're excellent for weathering and things like that. I don't often use them, but when I do, I always like the effect. Now, generally, I'll use an oil wash for weathering, but because I want the matte finish, the watercolor pencil are ideal for this. So as you can see there, I'm using a darker color now, and again, it's just all adding to the weathering. Now, if you think you've gone too hard, you can also wipe it down with a little bit of kitchen towel as well before it dries, and that helps blend everything in. But you'll see what I mean as I'm doing this. So worth spending a little bit more time on this than normal because one, you may have not seen these pencils in use before, and two, I don't really showcase them that much, as I said, because I don't use them often. But you can see that I've taken off the tank, and that's just for user access while I'm doing the front panels. It's difficult to show on camera at the moment because I need it at a certain angle to do this. But you can see the way I'm holding the pencil. I'm not holding it like a conventional pencil where you would write. I'm actually holding it like you would a paintbrush or a palette knife to go onto the surface and just gently marking the surface as I go along. So if I tip up there, you can see the effect starting to come through. They can be subtle. Once it dries, and if you do find it too subtle, you can just add a little bit more as well, but you can start seeing the streak effects on the roof in particular, and I'm trying to create when like rainfall and debris that's gone onto the roof. So as I'm using the black one there, you can see I've gone quite heavy there. That was on purpose to show that with a bit of cloth, I will just dampen that down and blend it in. And I hope you agree it's very effective. I can't rate these pencils highly enough. They're relatively inexpensive as well, and they do add so much more detail to your model if you are in a situation to use them. They can be used on armor, aircraft, whatever you like. In fact, I really should use them more because I do enjoy using them. So while I'm doing this is where I'll end part 18. In fact, this will actually bring the build to the end. So the next video will be the final reveal. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds. If you subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to date, not only with this build, but all my future builds as well, of course. Hit the like button. Don't be afraid to leave a comment. And of course, you can share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.